that still leaves us in a world where there's this kind of pseudo sexual fake digital relationship in porn.
Oh yeah.
Pornography still exists. So I'm wondering about that 50% of men. I'm assuming, and I don't know this 50% of men, but I'm assuming pornography is probably quite a big part of their replacement therapy for the connection and sexual intimacy that they're missing.
Correct. So I have a theory called the male sedation hypothesis, right? There is a phenomenon called young male syndrome. If you have a large number of non-partnered, childless men in a society, that tends to be an unstable civilization. There's examples throughout history where men who don't have a reason to behave, who don't buy into the social contract of cohesing everything together, tend to cause problems. They revolt, they cause riots, they spray paint cars, and they push over granny, and they do domestic violence and sexual assault. There have been a number of incel killings of disaffected, disenfranchised young men that have gone out and done horrible things. But it is not increasing in line with the amount of sexlessness, right? It's tripled. 2008 to 2018, tripled 8% to 28%. The number of associated young male syndrome incidents hasn't increased in kind. So you think, okay, something going on here. Something is happening which is causing men to not enact this very well established throughout all of history response. When men get into a relationship, their testosterone drops. When they have kids, their testosterone drops again, and reduced testosterone reduces risk-taking behavior. If you've just had a kid, or you're in a relationship, don't try and jump off that cliff, because then maybe you've got a kid that doesn't have a father anymore. You can see why that would be adaptive. So the question is, why is it that we have greater rates of sexlessness amongst young men than ever, but we don't have this in-kind amount of violence and disruption? And it's my belief that porn, video games, and social media are sedating men out of this status-seeking and reproductive-seeking behavior. So I think that you get a titrated dose, just an ever so slight, just a little bit of reproductive cues from porn that helps to sedate men's desire to go out and pursue women. I think that what video games do is they create a sense of camaraderie, of goal-seeking behavior, status within the online world. It satisfies a lot of what men would have been trying to achieve with that young male syndrome revolution in the past. So my belief is that we have this male sedation occurring. Now, given the choice between a society of men who are dangerous and a society of men who are sedated, right now, the group of sedated men are ever so marginally better. But the only reason for that is that we're at a time of peace, right? If there was an alien civilization that came down to Earth today, the best thing that we could do would be to switch off all porn, turn off all social media. You want men to be angry. You want men to be riled up when there is something that they can direct that anger at. Right now, there isn't. And if they did, it would just foment and it would cause problems, and it would be bad, right? So yes, the sedating of this kind of reproductive seeking behavior in a way has made the world calmer, but it's not particularly, you wouldn't say it's optimal, right? This isn't great. Right. Oh no, absolutely not. I mean, the advent of the NoFap movement, men who identify as not masturbating, they self-identify as not masturbating, they have NoFap streaks. You heard of this?
No.
Stephen, you've not heard of NoFap?
No, I hang around in the wrong
You're chronically
circles,
online. How have you not heard of NoFap?
How have you, Chris?
Look, I know about my NoFap, okay? So there is a very big community of guys online that have recanted porn. This is what we were talking about before, right? For every movement, there is a counterculture. For every sex positive, there is someone that will decide to push it away. For every woman that struggles to find somebody in the dating market. There is the boss bitch culture, which is the cope. Then there is the lean in, which is like the trad wife thing. There is the guy that becomes the Chad and has sex with all of the women. There is the guy that retreats from that and goes men going their own way and completely recants it as well, right? So you have the push and pull on both sides. NoFap is a group of men who have self-identified as people that don't masturbate, right? This is because they see the impact of porn on their psychological health, on their physical health, and they don't like what it does to them. So they have formed a community around this. For men who feel like they have a problem with porn, something that gives them a sense of pride about being able to defeat what they see as a vice is a place that quite rightly they're going to get, yes, I have control over this. Even if I don't have friends, even if I don't have a partner, at least I have control over this. And it gives them, what are we doing here? It is another goal for men to chase after, right? It just happens to be a goal of not touching your penis, which is actually quite a hard thing for a guy not to do.
Speak for yourself, Chris.
Look, Stephen, I can see where your hands are.
But there's something I find really compelling about, we've talked a lot about people that are single, that are searching for love, but when you think about the context of a relationship, we're both in relationships, and the role masturbation plays in the reduction of desire for our partner. Because some of my friends are struggling with something I've talked about before, with sex in their relationships. I've talked about my own struggles with sex in relationships. And one of the things we've kind of diagnosed is pornography has a reductive value on the desire we have for our partners.